charges aren't moving through the material because it's an insulator. But the molecules in there, I can reorient and pull the positive side toward. And what do we got now? Now I get the positive and negatives. What do unlike charges do, gang? Attract. And sure enough, we saw an attraction. But that would work as well if I had the glass rod, as you saw. If I have the glass rod here, and I have positive charge, now what do? I take these molecules and flip them the other way. This is what happens. That's why you can take like a little piece of paper. Here's a little piece of paper here, okay? It has no charge. But I can charge up, say, the rubber rod, and I'll find out that the little piece of paper attracts. You see that? What I'm doing is I'm polarizing the charge distribution in the paper. And that's what I'm doing over here, too. I'm polarizing it. And so now I have my little molecules like this. The negative is pulled toward, the positive further away. And since the positive is further away, there's what? There's less repulsion and more attraction because this is closer. Closeness wins. And so what happens? The whole device comes over. I can show you charge polarization in another way. I can show you that with this. Here we have a piece of plastic. This piece of plastic, it holds electrons very readily. I can just beat some electrons on here. And I do that. Okay. Now that's negatively charged, huh? Now I take this piece of conductor. It's a piece of pie pan, huh? And it's metal. Metal's a good conductor, easy for electrons to flow through, right? Especially if there's a little electric pressure. And guess what we're going to talk about later? Electric pressure. Anyone know the name of electric pressure? Begin with a V, end with voltage. Voltage. Voltage, very good. Okay, we're onto this stuff, not so bad, yeah? Okay. But notice I have a wooden handle. Why the wooden handle? It's a good insulator. Electrons won't flow very readily through a wooden handle. If I put this down on top of there, should this be charged? I turn it over, and it isn't. But what happens when I touch it with my finger? See that? See that? See the difference? Isn't that neat? Okay. So we find it's charged when I touch it with my finger. Let's take a look at this in more detail. Here's my piece of plastic material, and I beat a negative charge on there, yeah? And then I took the pie pan, and I put the pie pan on there like that. Okay. Now what happens in that pie pan? Any free charges in that pie pan? Yeah. Any charges in that pie pan? Show me a piece of material with no charges. No way. There's charges in everything. There's atoms in the pie pan. And aren't the electrons loose in all metals? Isn't that true? So the electrons are going to be repelled by the negative plastic. So the electrons are going to be pushed to the top. And what's going to be pulled down, gang? Begin with the P. The positives, eh? I'm being careful to draw as many positives as negatives. Why? Because there's no net charge. And we saw that. If there were a net charge now, it would flow off through my body. Okay? But now there's none, and there's still none. No net charge. But what happens when I put my finger there? What happens then, gang? When I put my finger here, okay? When I touch it with my finger, then I afford a what? Why does it become charged? And let me ask you a question. When I do put my finger there, you saw it becomes charged. Why? And what kind of charge? Check your neighbor. Hey gang, I can show you that it's charged by lighting up this little lamp. Let me get this away now. No charge. If I touch it like this, boom, no light. No light. No light. All right, now let me touch it. Light. You see that flash of light? Did you see that? Let me try it again. Let me try it in the dark.
Now we saw it. That was nice.
Can you be seeing?
Yes, we can see it now.
All right.
Thank you.
So you guys thought I was putting you on, right? All right. All right. Okay. You could light up cities like that if you had someone keep doing that, right? We have a better way. Show you next week. Okay? Let's look at this device here. It turns out how much charge can be stored on those little domes there has to do with the radius of curvature of the ball on the top, yeah? The radius of curvature. What would happen if we have a large radius of curvature? Store a lot of charge or a little? Right here, gang. We're going to be saying this, yeah? But how about if you have a small radius of curvature, like this point? It's a very, very sharp point. Very small radius of curvature. Will that store a lot of charge or a little? Answer begins with a L. A little. In fact, so little it won't watch this. When I touch the point this time, and I'll come over like this, I guarantee you, you will not hear any lightning. Crank this thing all night long, honey. No way. You know why no way? Because that point is so sharp, the charge capacity there is so small that any charge that gets on there leaks off as fast as it gets on. So the charge leaks off, and here you see there was a that we prevented lightning from happening. And guess what these points are useful for, gang? On your barns and on your homes. Lightning rods, that's right. Let's look at lightning a little bit, okay? Here's the ground down below. Here comes a cloud. Maybe the cloud is all negative on the bottom. If it's negative on the bottom, guess what it is at the top, gang? Positive, that's right. And that cloud is going to induce a charge down below here in the ground. It's going to induce a charge. It's sort of like this cloud coming overhead. Here's the ground down below, yeah? And the cloud comes overhead and induces a charge down here. And what it's going to do is it's going to drive electrons down under the ground. And it's going to pull, in effect, what up? Hot plus. Now we have an interesting condition, gang. We have negative charge here. We have positive charge here. We have opposite charges like we had here with no lightning rod. What happens if the charge build up? What happens finally? A boom! Huh? And what happens when a lightning cloud comes overhead? And it can't quite make it. You know why? That gap is too big. And you're out there playing golf. You're playing golf with your friends, huh? And you're out there and you take your copper shoes with the little cleats and you stick them into the soggy ground, right? Your friend says, hey, we better get out of here. There's thunderclouds coming over. You say, oh, just one last time. Literally one last time. You take the copper rod, okay, that copper club, and you lift it up in the air. And here you are right here, okay. And you lift that rod right up in the air. What does the cloud say? The cloud says, Santa Claus has come to town. I think I'm going to be making a little visit, right? Because now the path is short enough, and you get it. Many people get wiped out every year on golf courses because they find themselves the closest part to the cloud. And the closest part, nature's a little bit efficient or lazy, however you want to put it, and whoop, boom, they get wiped out. Even that happens with homes, too. If you have homes here, buildings. Do you see the buildings are closer to the clouds than the ground down below? Okay. Now, this really perplexed people in the old days. Because in the old days, the tallest building in any community was, you guys know what it was? Church. The church, see? And it was thought that lightning was the wrath of God. Lightning was God's way of getting angry and a little bit upset, yeah? Now, what's the last building in town that should be hit by lightning, gang? The last one. Especially if no one wears lipstick, no one plays cards, and everyone is properly guilty for any pleasure they have, okay? And what building should not be hit?
People, church.
But guess what building, time after time, no matter how little lipstick, no matter how much tithing, no matter how devoteful, no matter how much praying, guess what buildings were all the time getting belted by lightning? Begin with a CH. Figure that one out. Yeah. That had a lot of people perplexed. Benjamin Franklin was a Unitarian. And in Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin discovered these ideas we're talking about now, and he put the first lightning rod on the Unitarian. Now, you know how the Unitarians are. They can play cards on Saturday night. They can even drink liquor, okay? They can wear all the lipstick they want. Their thinking about the cosmos goes beyond those little concerns, right? But people thought that if any building ought to get hit, honey, it ought to be the Unitarian. And guess what? never. The Unitarian Church didn't get belted. And one by one, the churches started putting up lightning rods. Because what's the primary purpose of a lightning rod, gang? Some people think it's to attract lightning. What did you see here? It's to prevent lightning. If you got a lightning rod in this church, what you do is you leak off this charge that builds up as fast as it builds on. So you won't have a positive down here and a negative. It'll leak off, you see? And what'll happen, the lightning hit over here, say hit the bar room over here, as it should be, right? The bar, okay, or something like that. But the church is spared if it has a lightning rod. So today it's commonplace to put lightning rods on structures. Primary purpose, to prevent lightning. Secondary purpose, if you get belted anyway, the lightning will be guided to the ground and spare the structure. Kind of neat, yeah? Question?
Where does the voltage come from for lightning codes? I mean, it's not just that the positive and negatives are just there.
Well, how does this, your question really is, how does that charge buildup occur in the clouds? How does the cloud get negative on one part and positive on the other? And you know what? That is still being researched. The last I heard, there were still more questions than answers on that. Some people tend to think that in this day and age, we know everything. We don't know anything, really, compared to what's coming along, huh? We don't yet, it's my understanding, don't really have a clear understanding of why you do get that voltage difference in the cloud to begin with. There's a lot of ideas, as the rain falling down, friction rubs and sort of thing like that, but there's a lot of other questions unanswered. So I don't know really why you do get that big difference in charge that causes this whole thing to begin with. There are several models for it, as I understand. Let's look at the granddaddy here. This is called the Van de Graaff generator. It's named after a person by the name of Robert J. Generator. All right, we be learning this stuff. All right. Now what we're going to do here, it's talked about in the textbook. It turns out this belt is going to carry charges from little lightning points here, deposit them up in here, and we're going to build up an enormous charge on the top. Let me show you what I mean. Notice notice that I am keeping this closer to the dome than my head. Guess why? I don't want to put my head closer than this, all right? Now let me show you that that does charge. Let's try this, gang. Right. Okay. Let's try this. Do we have anyone with nice, long... Oh, my dear, back row. Come. Oops. All right, what I want you to do... Could you touch that? You're safe. All right. And I'm going to take this apart. Stand over here, honey. What's your name? Trisha. Okay, Trisha. Take your right hand and put it on the dome. Okay. It's all right. Now I'll take this away, and you'll start to feel yourself getting charged. Shake your head a little bit. Okay. That's good. Good. Let it keep going. Good. A little bit like this. Okay. You see it starting to do what, gang? Starting to stand up. Could we have you people hold hands, please? Could you hold hands? It's all right. Hold his hand. Yeah. Hold his hand. Well, hold her hand, man. Hold her hand, too. She's nice. She's very nice. And hold her hand. And maybe you can hold back here. Yeah. Okay. Hold hand. Back here. Yeah. Okay. Keep going. Right across the hall. Right across. You get it? I feel it. Okay, thank you, Trish. Very nice. Okay, thanks. Let's hear it for Trish, all right? Okay. There's one more thing I want to show you, gang, is I want to show you that I can light up this lamp in the dark. Robert, the lights, please. The lamp is lit. When I hold it like this, no. But like this, yeah. This goes out like this, lights. I've got a question for you. Lights, please, Robert. When I held the lamp like this, it lit up. When I held it like this, it didn't. Surrounding this dome is a very strong electric field. I've got a question for you. Where do you suppose